Day, and welcome to another edition of Michael Badaway Live. This is your April 28th, 2020 edition. I'm your host, Michael Badaway. Let's get right to it with some world news. We've got some updates for you with the virus around the globe. Right now, we've got 3.1 million people infected around planet Earth. Of those, 220,000 of our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, and children have passed away from this virus. In the United States, 1 million people have now been infected. That's 1 million people. Of those million, 60,000 have died. Here in Canada, we have cracked 50,000 infections. 2,859 of us have passed away as Canadians. So heart goes out to every one of you, everyone in the world for that matter. And the UK's got 161,000 people infected, 21,000 deaths. Australia with 6,738 and 88 deaths only. I still think the world could learn something from Australia. They seem to be doing quite well in their fight against the virus. As for the geographic center of the world, Egypt, they are sitting at 5,000 cases, 5,042 cases, just over 5 grand, with 359 passed away. My heart goes out to everybody. As I said, it's interesting, though. The country of Sweden never actually engaged any social isolation. They didn't want to shut down their economy. They didn't want to do any of that stuff. So they let their stuff stay open. And currently, Sweden has 19,000 infections. 2,300 have passed away. So an interesting concept, just letting your people get that herd immunity that they spoke of. That's exactly what Sweden said they wanted to do. So maybe that's what the States was doing in the first place. I don't know. Either which way, it's interesting to see how another country reacts to this, and it'll be interesting at the end result to know what the right thing to do was. You know, hindsight is always 2020. But I came across an interesting tidbit today that I think you're going to be interested in knowing. We talked about how maybe we could be living in 1984 the last time we spoke. And well, this is interesting. Our chief public health officer, Dr. Tam, she actually said in a documentary in 2010 that in an event of a pandemic, if you were to refuse a vaccine, you should basically have a mandatory tracking bracelet put on you, and that way they'd be able to keep track of you during a virus outbreak. So Dr. Tam, our chief public health official here in Canada, our chief public health officer, said in a 2010 documentary that people should be wearing tracking bracelets to see whether or not they've been vaccinated in the event of a pandemic or an outbreak, which is absolutely astonishing and very troubling. Very troubling. Maybe not that astonishing, but it's troubling. That's Theresa Tam, our public health officer here in Canada. So what's next? What is next? How much control will we give up? No more parks, no more fun, no more hanging out, no more going out. Do you believe it? So half the people I talk to believe it. The other half think it's a scam or a sham. I believe that people are dying. I know that people are dying. I believe that people are getting sick. So there's something going around for sure. What I'm not sure of is is it being capitalized upon for some other nefarious means, I don't know, control or whatever. That I can't tell you, but could be. Could be. There's evidence that could support it. Anyway, you have a 0.03% chance of dying of COVID-19, or sorry, I was going to say, I just call it the virus now. You have a 0.03% chance of dying of the virus in California. They may reopen some of their stuff. So 0.03%, that's pretty good, I think. That's really, really low. And again, it begs the question. This was like a doctor who was saying this on the news just tonight. And it begs the question. So are we overplaying this thing? Are we overblowing this thing? We've gone into massive deficit, not just our country, but the entire world. What is the end result of this deficit? How are we going to pay for this deficit? Our economy traditionally has relied upon the young paying the way of the old. Well, for the first time, we don't have a sustainable birth rate. That's why we have immigration, fine. But now the countries that we have, people coming from are no longer having sustainable birth rates anyway either. So eventually, where do these people come from? You end up with your inverted population pyramid with all the old people at the top of the pyramid and no young people, or not enough young people paying like their CPP and whatnot to help them out. So it's a big problem. And it may well be the problem of our generation, unless we all die of a virus. Nevertheless, I'm going to let a virus take us down. Come on. I hope not. But let's look at those facts. 0.03% chance of dying in California. We live in a world where facts should be represented, even if they go against the current acceptable truth. So, when Buddy came forward and he said the earth was round, and everybody's like, the earth is flat, the earth is round, the earth is flat. Well, obviously the earth is round. And to anyone that says the earth is flat, go take a flight somewhere, and when you get high enough, you can kind of see the curvature of the earth. The earth is round, but there was a time when the belief, it was known that the earth was flat. And if you challenge this knowledge, how dare you? Why should you? How could you? It's the truth. It's known. But that's not science. And that's why we ask questions. So if it is totally proven, one way, then fine. If it's disproven afterwards, fine. That's science. I don't like this thing, though, where I can't say, taking vitamin C may help you not get the virus. Everybody knows it's common sense to take vitamin C and stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to say that. Well, so don't take vitamin C, I guess. But some of these rules are just, I don't want to use the word, but you know what I mean. They say I'll be taken off of the net if I were to recommend vitamin C to you. So don't take vitamin C or garlic or honey or onions or turmeric or anything. Maybe the aliens are coming to harvest us. So those people who say there's aliens, okay? Maybe the aliens are coming to harvest us and we're to stay home now because we're just about fat enough. Just about right for the picking. A little salt. Good stuff. I don't know. I think that there's probably a couple of cures out there. As a layman, I don't know if I'm qualified to give my opinion. I do have one. I do have a couple. Maybe in the future. Until then, take care of yourself. Don't breathe the air. And we'll chat next time. Michael Badaway, signing off.